Let me try to navigate myself out of this garage. All right, here we go. Beautiful day today. It's Sunday. And I kind of wanted to get out of the house and shoot a little footage and have a little conversation. And the conversation is about a dirty little secret that a lot of families may be harboring, maybe right in your own neighborhood. And I live in a 55 plus community, and there is a rule in this community: no kids allowed. But when we say kids, we mean kids below the age of 19 years old. It's not unusual to see adult children living with their senior parents. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, to be honest with you. There's a lot of circumstances where people need to do this. You know, for one thing, maybe they have a child, and when I say child, I mean adult, living with them because of a chronic illness or a handicap or something like that. But what's more and more prevalent are kids that just don't want to move out of their parents' house. And the parents, which I mean, when I say parents, I mean, we're talking people, you know, in their 60s and 70s already, supporting their adult children. And the reason I want to talk about this today and have a conversation is because I find myself in this situation, but with a stepchild who is going to be 40 years old in February, and has no inclination of getting a job, has no qualms about using his father's credit card for, say, like car repairs. Totally inertia. Inertia is the word. So I'm going to park here. I'm at the clubhouse parking lot. We have a beautiful facility here. Oh my gosh. But getting back to the subject, the failure to launch children, which I don't know if it's just mostly the millennial generation. I mean, our person in our family who is in this situation is a millennial and, you know, born in the 1980s. And I only married into this family 4 years ago. So as far as the dynamic of how these kids were raised, I had a little bit of interaction with them 23, 25 years ago when I was dating their father at that time. My husband raised 3 of his 4 kids, 3 boys, and his ex-wife raised their daughter. For the most part, out of 4 kids, 1 is a real high achiever. He's very successful. 1 was a crime victim and is disabled for the rest of his life. 1 is the failure to launch. And what he does is he drives Uber when he feels like it. And I think it's probably just for grocery money. But I guess the problem I have is somebody whose life is basically half over living off his parents or a parent. And the really hard part of it is his father is pretty much emotionally blackmailed. And me, a third party looking in on this, I'm detached. I'm pretty much detached going, what the hell is going on here? When I was 18 years old, the rule in our house was either you go to college, you go to trade school, or you get a job. Okay. I was happy to get a job. I went and learned a trade. I went to cosmetology school. And I think I worked even while I was going to school. But, by the time I could get old enough to get on my own, that was my goal. I could not wait to get my own place. I know the economy sucks. I understand that. But listen, in our generation, when we were coming of age, I want to say maybe around 1980, 1979, 1978, we were getting old enough to go out on our own. As far as housing and buying a home, the interest rates on mortgages in 1980 was 13%. Okay. The wages were stagnant. If you remember, they had a term called stagflation, where I guess the wages don't keep up with inflation. And I don't know, what was a good income in 1980? Maybe $28,000 a year. You were living big time. Most of us weren't making that kind of money. And a lot of us received help from our parents to purchase our first home. And that's kind of a rite of passage. I mean, you want to do that for your kid. I totally understand that. But supporting your child who refuses to go to work, refuses to go get any kind of psychiatric help to figure out what's going on in their head, because they don't have health insurance, because they didn't pay for the premiums when they did have Obamacare. Let that go by the wayside. They don't have credit, okay? Because when they were working and were credit worthy, they maxed out their credit card, never made the payments. Okay, so one irresponsible move after another is what you see in the history of kids like this. Now, what would help? Possibly having a partner in life. My stepson, I don't think, has had a girlfriend in about 8 years. And this is somebody 39 years old, pushing 40 years old. And you can't be in a healthy place psychologically if you don't have somebody to bounce things off of. I think maybe his father fills in that void a little bit for him to have somebody to talk to. There's a lot of blame that can be handed out. And personally, as I've said, I'm a third party looking in from the outside. So I can see the whole dynamic and go, wow, whoa, train wreck, okay? And if you were to ask somebody like him, what is your 5-year plan? You get the shoulder shrug, Well, his dad has done everything, even to the point of taking him down to the union hall and signing him up for the union. Well, of course, he didn't pay his union dues, so he never got hired into a union job. But you see, these are things he should have been doing on his own, okay? When you're in your mid to late 30s, you don't need your dad directing you in life, or you shouldn't have to, okay? There's something wrong. So how many of you are in this predicament? Let me know in the comments. Kids are getting to be middle-aged and have nothing to show. I don't know what the answer is. You can put in all your assets to try to rescue somebody like this, but they're not doing anything to help themselves. Okay, look, here's the situation. My stepson has moved into his deceased grandmother's house, where that house is an asset for his father, but yet he's using the estate money to keep that household going, to have some place for my stepson to live. Okay, now, what's wrong with this picture? eventually, I don't know what the mortgage payment is. I think maybe it's something like $900 a month. You can't get a payment like that anywhere. And if you were given an opportunity to go, to maybe take over that mortgage payment, live in that house, and make it your own, wouldn't you jump at that opportunity? Well, no, there's no jumping at anything going on there. Okay, well, that's pretty much the story. And what it really is maybe a plea for help. If you have any ideas, or as I said earlier, if you have this situation going on in your own life, let's have a conversation about it. We can maybe help each other out. In the meantime, thanks for stopping in today. My name is Suzanne Harper, and it's always an honor to talk about and help navigate through this chapter of life. And I'll talk to you again soon. Mwah. Have a good one. You all take care till the next conversation. Bye now.